Welcome back to the Don't Write That Book podcast, where you can learn how to write your bestseller and own your authorship. Follow along with us as we give you an insider's view of the book industry. Now, here are your hosts, myself, Mike Michalowicz, and AJ Harper.
I do want to start off by bragging about you, Matt. We were just talking during that break about this studio. Matt has spent an extraordinary amount of time setting up this space. And what Matt does is all this research on how to manage sound, how to make it look. This is a bedroom we're in, a former bedroom. But when you watch on video, the perception is just a big space. There's a brick wall behind us. It's not real brick. And there's all these things going on. Matt was, I'm going to use the word maniacal about sound perfection. And he says it's not there yet. It's just not there yet. So one of the things he discovered is this brick wall. So that's a cloth material. And the reason it's a cloth material is we can change it if we want to have a different setup. It could be a green screen. It could be different material, whatever we want. So we wanted to have brick for now. And he's like, this is acting like a drum. So behind there is a Murphy bed. One of the requirements my wife had is whatever room we dedicate to a function, it needs to convert to a guest room when all the family from Hawaii comes in and all over the place and stays here for a month. So this room converts back into a bedroom very quickly. Did you know that?
I did. I recall now, but I have to admit,
Can't see it.
I can't see it.
Dude, genius man over there figured it out. So that's on casters. It rolls over there. You can store everything in this little storage area where the cameras are to give it depth. And a Murphy bed comes down. So Matt is like looking at this rolling brick wall here, and he goes, it's acting like a drum. He goes, the audio's not good enough. And I'm like, what do you need to do? He's like, we need to put this felt material. We need to sheetrock it and so forth. And I'm like, okay, I got to find a contractor. Well, as I'm looking for Martin to do it, Matt's like, hey, I'm coming by tomorrow morning. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah. He's sheetrocking it. He's putting this material in it. And then he's like, oh, I can put sound baffles in the ceiling. And he's doing his seamstress work. And he creates his room. And the audio for the neophyte, I don't notice an improvement. I thought it's been excellent from day one. But for the pro, he's like, it went from 90% good to now 99%.
All right.
And I hope our audience is seeing it in the video quality when they check this out on YouTube, and when they're listening in the podcast, I hope there's a noticeable uptick for them, that the content and the quality of the content remains the same, but the quality of the audio now is juiced up. So I just hope anyone listening in right now, please rate and review and comment how well you like the quality. That'd be a nice accolade to Matt.
Okie doke.
Okay, that was my preamble. Now, you come up with all the, now here's a shout out to you. You come up with 90% of topics. Sometimes I'll text you, say, hey, I got an idea. We should do this or that. And then you'll take it or riff off of it. But this one, I never even considered. You wanted to talk about the blues after a book launch.
The after the book launch blues.
Yeah. Sounds like a song.
Right?
Da-na-na-na-na.
It should be.
I woke up this morning and exhausted from writing and launching. What inspired this?
Well, initially, and she's not having these blues, so let me be really clear. But Kathy Onetto, she's an alum of my workshop, and she wrote this amazing book, which is multi-award winner, called Sustainable Ambition. And we were just having a conversation, and she was thinking, she was asking, I want to keep the book alive because I'm always saying, please don't give up on marketing your book. This is the long game. But she also feels this call to what she says, I want to have experience the wonder of a new project. And so she's not having the blues. I think she's just trying to figure out, how do I keep sustainable ambition alive and also be excited about something new, which is sort of kind of interesting because of what her book is about, which is how do you have ambition for different things at the same time and at different times of your life. So it's apropos that she would ask me that question. But it got me thinking, there's this sort of letdown too that happens after. So I thought we could kind of combine the two topics into one, which is, what do you do when you have this post-launch feelings? And then how do you sort of keep things going after that?
I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I didn't call it the blues, but I definitely experienced that emotion.
Like a little bit of a letdown?
Yeah. Yeah. So for our audience, you're listening to Don't Write That Book. Thanks for listening. And this is our 141st episode. I mean, we are cranking through these.
Not including the bonus.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because we didn't number that one.
Yeah. And we're thinking about doing more bonuses.
I've got one coming.
Oh, good. And even we were talking about doing some short little ones, like a 10 or 15-minute episode.
People have ideas. We love ideas.
We love them.
Yeah.
And I still want to do a live episode. That I haven't forgotten that. I use droning on about that a lot, and it's kind of coming back to me of how we can do it in a really unique, fun way. But we'll talk about that at some future point. Joined in the studio with AJ Harper, the author of Write a Must Read, and the creator of This Extraordinary Journey on the top 3 books. Like, have a must read book and make sure it's one of the top 3 books in its category.
Mm-hmm. Strive for it.
What I admire about you, AJ, is that you guide authors not just through the writing authorship journey, you guide them through the emotional journey. I mean, that's what we're talking about today. But I actually have noticed that you encourage and inspire authors, but something even greater, you listen.
Mm-hmm.
You listen. And it's very cathartic. I've had times like, we're doing the worst thing, this is not going to work. And you just let me let it out.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Thank you. I'm not, having written many books, self-helpy type and motivational books as a ghostwriter, I sort of have an aversion to toxic positivity. I am fundamentally optimistic, and I am excited about opportunities, but I'm also super practical. So I think it's a good combo.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Good.
The thing I admire about you is that you walk your talk.
Thank you.
So, whether it's profit first or taking your 4-week vacation, like in Clockwork or whatever, you're doing it. You're doing the thing that you ask other people to do.
Thank you. That's what I like about writing books. Like, it holds you accountable to it. So I started an investment group. This is now about 3 years ago, but we're really coming into stride now. It's called Prosper Group. And we used all of the books that we've done together, you and I, all of the systems in our work. And so Fix This Next it was always intended to be the foundational hub of all the other books, has become the foundational hub for our organization. And it's
the diagnostic.
Yeah, it's the diagnostic. It's come full circle.
So can we just have a moment with that though?
Yeah.
Because you remember when I met you, you were you were sort of still in the dark time, but you had done all that angel investing that we read about in Profit First and The Money Habit. And you thought you had the Midas touch.
I did.
And you're just throwing money at stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a golden guy and you can get this done.
Yeah.
I find it poetic that nearly bankrupted you.
Oh, yeah.
But from the ashes, you wrote a body of work, really a body of work. So we've talked about how we're really just missing the sales book.
Correct. And I have an idea for it now.
So you have a body of work that then allowed you to do what you intended to do back then. And now you're doing it with Prosper Group.
Yeah.
But it's based on not just some sort of mojo you have. It's based on tested, proven strategies and techniques.
Yeah.
It's based on your intellectual property. It has a special significance, I think, to me. It's a full circle.
It really is a full circle moment.
Yeah.
20 years. And it's interesting, talking woo, they talk about manifestation and stuff like this, in that when you think of something, it can happen right away. It's just, are you ready to receive it? It's interesting, when looking back in time, everything feels like it's right away. It's only looking in the future that things seem so distant. So if something takes 20 years to manifest, in retrospect, it took a second.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. And I think that's also something interesting for us I didn't see the connection at first, but now I do. When people like Kathy are wanting new projects, but they have this other book, I think we need to start looking at the whole picture of what we're doing, as opposed to, I have this project, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. And think instead about how it's all linked.
I was talking to a fellow who created I'll just say, term that is very popular. Like, you use it, you probably use it today. I used it. He's the creator of this term. I just don't want to reveal his name. And he's looking at publishing a new book, and he gave me a call and said, "You've done all three of the platforms, the traditional, self, and hybrid. Which one do you recommend?" And I said, hands down, hybrid for me. And it's not just like a little bit better, it's been a multitude better. And I don't know if it's because it's hybrid or if it's because of page 2 specifically. They're just
It's
such
because of
remarkable.
page 2.
I think so.
Trust me.
I haven't experienced any other hybrid. Okay, I do trust you.
There are some other good ones, but to me they're the best.
They are the best. And page 2 Simplified, that's the imprint that I've partnered with them on, is the sponsor of this episode. So thank you to page 2. Kathy is the one who inspired us. So can you give me some more details about? She's the author of Sustainable
Ambition, which is a multi-award winning book. But what she's feeling now is pressure, probably from me, because I'm always I don't want it to feel like pressure, but I'm trying to inspire my authors not to give up on their books and to keep trying to sell it, to keep trying to get it into the hands of readers is what I'm hoping they'll do. But she's feeling the pull of trying to create a new project. She called it the wonder of a new project. So how do you balance those two things? But I also feel like that does, that after the book release blues situation makes us feel like we want a new project.
Yeah.
I
remember Write and Must Read coming out. I remember the cover design, and it's over your head. I don't know if it's on the camera, but the cover design was different.
Totally different.
I loved it. It had all these like sticky notes effectively.
That wasn't it. That was just one comp.
Okay, well, that's the comp.
You're obsessed with that one.
Because it was effing great, in my opinion.
They said the sales team thought it looked too much like a children's book because of the Post-it colors.
Well, please don't call Michael Port. What was his the about speaking on the stage? It was like a Dr. Seuss design. Dr. Seuss. I can't remember which book it was.
I can't remember.
And it was
Yourself Solid?
No. That one had a picture.
Steal the Show?
Steal the Show.
Steal the Show, yeah.
It looked like a Dr. Seuss, and what a great design, and did very well at launch.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I remember your book coming out right around that time period. So the covers are selected and so forth, and it comes out. What did you feel moments before the launch and moments after the launch, and did the blues set in for you?
I think for context, it was a rough personal time.
Okay.
I think 2020 through 25 were probably my worst 5 years ever.
Okay.
Yeah. And just, things happened. And we're all still here and we're all doing great. But that was 2022.
It seems so much longer ago.
I know.
4 years.
I think I was trying to just keep my head above water.
Okay.
For me there wasn't a letdown right away because I am a person who's like next, and I just kind of do the next thing. But I think the letdown came when I realized that I needed to do more to support it. I think that felt like maybe what Kathy's feeling, I want to do other things.
Yeah.
But I have to keep this going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's expected and required.
I know. I tell everybody to do it.
Yeah. But when the reality hits, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. And that's true for me too.
Especially true for you, dude, because you
always want to do the next
relentless schedule.
I want to do the next thing. But here's what's interesting with the Money Habit. Just yesterday, we designed a new marketing method that we've never done before. And we're testing it. Yeah. So I won't reveal all the details, but effectively it's going to secondary markets that are gathering for another reason, but a financial component is part of the story. It's not the talked about story, but it's part of the story and getting to those markets.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah. So we just wrote the campaign literally last week, and we're going to start testing it.
Yeah.
My Blues happens probably right when the first book is sold. It's like I start going.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So launch day is coming. There's all this preparation. So it's interesting. There's no relief because as it gets closer to launch day for me, there's more and more momentum, more preparation, and we're getting to it. Then there's the execution of the launch. This year we did a 12-hour webinar effectively, but there's always some kind of big push. And during the other campaigns, I'm reaching out to individual authors, thanking them for their support. There's all this momentum. Then there's a moment that happens. It's usually at the end of the day, this time was about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. Like, okay, now I can sit down and I'll log on to, it's usually Amazon because they're reporting most frequently on the sales,
Yeah.
see how the trend is going. And then I'm like, this is it. And and then I get disappointed in myself. I'm like, oh, the sales could be better and stuff. And then I'm like, is this like it's anticlimactic every time. The Money Habit, I think, launched during the launch period, which is basically a 2-week
2
period.
weeks.
8,000 something units, which is our best launch, print copies.
But to be clear, a bunch of those units were actually pre-sold before
Bulk.
the 2 weeks.
Yeah. We moved over 5,000 bulk.
Amazing.
And bulk could be an order of 2 or 3, a couple large orders. We just got an order for 1,000 that just came in.
Yay.
Yeah, which is nice. And that's going to be shipping out next month. But nonetheless, it feels anticlimactic. And it's like,
because what would have felt climactic would have felt like, yes, this result is in alignment with effort.
I think it's got to be so absurdly big, like the earthquake, the whole world shakes, and on the news they break, this book is moving this book is so successful that the world is actually shaking. And that probably still
Come
wouldn't
on
even.
now.
That's what it feels like to get that kind of emotion out of me.
You think so?
I feel that way because I can't think of a single book that I've been like, that was amazing. I feel like I've always,
What?
yeah, even Profit First. In retrospect, Profit First has been extraordinary. And I know the numbers. It's the top 0.0001% of book performances of all time. I get it. I was at the airport. So there's little moments that I'm like, okay, I was at the airport. I don't know if I told you. This is, I'm in Chicago and I'm going down an escalator, getting onto like the tram to go to the next thing. And there's a dude coming up and he looks at me and then he passes. So I catch him catching my eye and I get to look forward and I hear, hey, Mike. So I'm like, I'm not going to respond to that because there's a million mics. And I know he's likely talking to me. And so then it goes a little further and he goes, hey, Mike McCallowitz, right? So I turn around and I wave up. He's like, I'm a fan of your books. And now we're like really far apart. And because there's hundreds of people waiting for the tram and on this escalator, everyone's now looking at me, looking at him. And he looks and he goes, that dude, he's very important.
Oh, no.
I'm like, so I blush. I go, thank you. And I go down, and now people are kind of staring at me.
Oh, no.
I put my head down. So in that moment, I feel rewarded, and I feel the kind gesture. I'm also embarrassed. And then back to there's almost like this angel on one shoulder, and there's this devil on the other saying, dude, your effing ego, settle down.
Okay.
You're not a big deal.
Okay.
And so maybe that's this kind of.
Is that why you feel like you want to just. You feel a letdown because you don't actually want. Maybe
that's it.
To get to believe your own hype.
I definitely want to believe my own hype. It gives me the someone. I was on a call and an interview, and they go, I just want you to know you are the guru for finance. I'm like, ooh. I said,
don't say the G word.
Yeah, I said, please don't say that. And I said, I gotta stop the podcast for a second. And if you want to record this, fine, but please don't call me that because I'm not. I said, what I really believe is you and I and every human are on an infinite path of experience.
Yeah.
And we have different experiences, but no one is better than anybody.
Yeah.
Ooh, it icked me out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of it.
Maybe. Because listen, I'm still bugging you to do a party.
Yeah, I feel,
I'm going to make my case. I think you need to because there's so many people that are a part of it. You know what I mean?
I do want to acknowledge
and I think
people.
If you could see it like that, that it might not be as much of a letdown if you said, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate all we did to get to this because it's years. And that's part of it is part of the letdown is it's years of grind. And then the last part is such a dead run.
It just stops.
And then it just goes bleep, done. And also, you know what else happens? If you're traditionally published, you're yesterday's news.
Yeah, it's true.
Because all that matters is front list.
I remember a moment in my life. It was in college. I had been in a relationship with this girl for many years. She was an extraordinary human, but we decided to end the relationship. And it's now graduation day. And that's what kind of like when we broke up. And my parents came down. They do the graduation ceremony. Now my parents were going back to the hotel for something. And I was going to meet them a few hours later. And I'm walking around campus. I see all these friends high-fiving, hugging. And I'm like, I don't have any friends like from college. I did,
man.
But I didn't have anyone to celebrate with.
Because you spent a lot of time with this girl.
Exactly. And I would never trade that for the world. And at the same time, I was like, oh, that's kind of what I've experienced in the book. Like when it's over, it's just over.
Mm.
And it's just, I felt this kind of dead space. I'm like, what now?
You know what? I wonder if one of the reasons I didn't feel so much a letdown is because I actually extended my launch. Because I had so many challenges just trying to balance personal things, I took it easy on myself and I said, I'm actually going to make this, because the book came out in May. So I just decided to make it a summer launch. So I spaced some things out.
What have you noticed is the trigger of letdowns or the blues?
Oh, the biggest thing is sales numbers.
What do you mean?
Because people get in their head that this is how much they're going to sell, and they get in their head what number means something, and then it's almost never that.
What's the number you hear?
I hear them all. It's a joke. It's like I have a little game I play with people sometimes where I say, what's your pie in the sky number? What's your I feel good about number? And what's your I must at least sell this many books or I'll be humiliated.
Oh, or I'll be humiliated. So
I ask them to give me 3 and I don't tell them why. And the first time I did it was at Heroic, and everybody looked at me and said, how do we decide? And I said, I'm not telling. Just write your 3 numbers down. And then I asked the room, okay, now everybody give me hold up your pie in the sky. 100,000, million, 10,000. Like, those are big differences. But then here's the thing, reasonable number, 100,000, right?
Yeah, wow.
And then your bottom number, 10, like some of the same numbers.
Interesting.
So you don't know. And so you're not going to be right.
Is that the lifetime of the book or the launch period?
This was lifetime, but if you ask people about launch, they'll still say some bonkers number.
Yeah.
And, I've been working on this sales number thing for a while, and I firmly believe I have this figured out. But I think that letdown it's hard to get over because it's how we measure the success of something.
Yeah.
And then did you make a list if you were trying to go for it? The letdown, man, I've had students who made it and didn't expect to make it. I had students, like last year, I had so many students make a national list. And I had one student, Dr. Carrie Bernight, who made the New York Times and didn't expect to. I also had a couple people make the USA Today list, and they were like, what the heck? They didn't even know.
Yeah.
I also had a student make it after the fact. So usually people make it in the first week, and then they're off, because they have the pre-orders. I had a student make it 6 weeks after publication, but not the first week, which is really actually exciting because that means people are talking about it. So those people feel excited. But if you've been working to get on it, if your goal is I need to be on the list and you put a lot of heart into it, I've had students who were crushed when they didn't make it. And really, I've seen people actually go into a deep depression over it.
Yeah, I see more people frustrated they don't make a list than they don't hit a sales number. And to me, a sales number...
But they go hand in hand.
Well, a sales number to me translates to impact because that's actually people buying it.
Yeah.
A list, it's just for a blip of time, a certain volume of books sold.
Yes.
And I'm more intrigued by... So I think 2 of my books have made a list of some sort.
No, more.
Okay, it could be. I want to say I don't care. I must care because I do know a couple of the lists. So I do care to some degree.
Yeah.
But The Money Habit got on
USA Today.
And so the publisher calls and it's like, congratulations, you got USA Today. And I feel almost no emotion toward it. I'm like, And they're like, we're going to put an emblem on it. And I know the impact. It helps with library ads. And so
it helps a lot.
I totally get it. But it is so out of alignment with my mission. Conversely, if we sold 2,000 books for the launch, I would have been in deep pain.
Yeah. Because the goals you set.
The goals I set. We really deliver if we hit 10,000 books for the launch period. The minimum was 5,000 books. And so the fact we came in at 8,000 something, it fell in. I'm not like hyped up like this was amazing. But even if we did 10,000, even if we did 50,000, all of a sudden my settings of my expectations get elevated to the new setting and I go into the blues.
Recalibrate.
I recalibrate and I'm like, I suck. That's all I did.
Yeah.
There's never enough in my mindset of book sales because that's impact. Profit first, I think we calculated 1.5 to 1.6 million units sold. Now, this is international translations, which actually is a much larger volume than I thought. In 2 versions, and
All the formats.
all the formats and so forth. And I'm like, and some of those people are buying triplicate of the book.
Yeah.
But if everyone was an individual sale, there's 350 million small businesses on this planet. I'm like, that sucks. 1.5, 1.6. Bam.
Right.
It's
however you frame it.
However you frame it. And then my mind goes into the blues. And now I'm like, am I being a martyr? Like, what value is this?
Oh my God. We all need therapy. We need a therapist, post-launch therapist. That'll be a specialty.
Yeah. I have a therapist.
I want to make sure we're addressing everything I wanted to talk about. Hang on.
Well, we're talking about the blues. So we put here, we shared our stories. We talked about the outcome is not what you expected. But people talking about, people move on to talk about a new subject. And you already mentioned this, but why does the world move on so quickly from a book?
Not the world, the publishing world.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
Well, when you're a front list author, everybody's focused on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're getting the book out. Everything is time dependent on this release date. Everybody's getting all their ducks in a row. It's exciting when a book comes out.
Yeah.
It's newsworthy when a book comes out, at least in the publishing industry. But then there's another one right behind you.
Correct.
Yeah. And so their efforts are focused on the front list title, which technically you're still front list for at least another year. But you feel it though. You feel like, and you're done.
And in practice, like back with the Penguin days, Noah would be calling like a week away, like, okay, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's a high frequency of calls.
Yeah.
On the launch day, all of a sudden there's silence.
Dead.
Like that moment.
Bye.
I'm like, hello. And then about a week later, there's a call like, hey, here's the numbers you did.
Yeah.
And then silence.
And so that quiet contributes to the feeling.
And the other factor is now you have to do the real work. You just put your entire soul into writing something as extraordinary, and that wasn't enough.
And it's on you.
It's not enough. Now you got to market it.
And your publisher did the things they needed to do.
Yeah.
They did their job.
Yeah.
So, but in your mind, you feel like it's still their job, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
It's only you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, they'll be excited if something cool happens to you, like you win a big award or you reach a threshold or something. They'll be excited. They'll be thrilled. They'll amplify it, but it's on you.
It's on you.
Yeah.
So it looks like Kathy has some questions. Should we go through them?
No, I mean these are my answers.
Okay.
She asked her questions. So I think this is more to what, how do you then, whether you had the blues or you're in Kathy's situation where you may not necessarily have the blues, but you feel called to also do something else. And so you feel almost torn between supporting the book you published and working on a fun new project.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are some of my suggestions of just the obvious one is to set micro goals. So instead of feeling like, because it's a long game, you need to look at your book as, I like to say 5 years, set a 5-year plan that you, like you taught me, do your quarterly tacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you, set the 5 years, then do quarterly tacking and reconfigure as you need to go. But then at the end of the 5 years, re-up.
Yeah.
For another 5.
Yeah, right.
Re-enlist.
I agree. So here what tacking is, just for our audience, tacking is you set an objective, a long-term objective, a 5-year or 10-year objective, but then you ask yourself, what can you do for the next 90 days to move in that direction? Then after 90 days, you reevaluate and say, what do I need to do now to get there? And it starts a zigzag pattern effectively.
And so in that vein, set the 5 years. It doesn't have to be a super detailed 5-year plan. It can be pretty basic. And then set micro goals. So this is what I'm going to do this quarter to work on my book. And here's how it fits with everything else I'm doing, which I think Kathy will be great at because her book is all about how you balance all these different ambitions. And then, of course, time blocking. We don't have to do something for our book every day. You could just say, I'm going to spend an hour on my book every Friday morning or 2 hours on Saturdays or whatever you feel is relevant. And also it could be fun things. Like it doesn't have to be, I'm going to beat the marketing drum. It could be, you know what? I'm going to make sure every month I go to an event at my local bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure I reach out to an author I want to meet every week. Whatever you decide you want it to. It can be anything.
Well,
But
I want to lean
the
into
time block.
time block. I would lean into that. I think the easiest and most effective way to build momentum for your book is immersing yourself in the community.
Yeah.
Because you're not self-promoting. You're just exposing yourself to the community. And
Yeah.
it's just natural over time that will give you benefit.
Yes. And it will also help if you do have this other project you want to do. It's going to help you with that one as well. I also think this one's huge, which is to tie the book that's out to the new project. And now tie it in some way. So you want to work on something new. How does it connect to the thing you already published? So you're keeping both alive at the same time.
Just give me some tactical strategies.
Well, I don't know what Kathy's new project is, but
I think every time you're putting a promotion out, I'm writing a new book, you say author of, and you talk about your past book.
well,
Like,
okay,
it's real
that's an
simple stuff.
obvious link, but I mean in creation mode.
Okay. I see
How
what
do
you mean.
these things link? How does one serve the other? How can I build on that book? What are the themes that I'm working on that are similar in sustainable ambition in Kathy's case and what I want to do next?
Mhm.
And to try and look for the links instead of seeing them as separate.
I remember, this is not directly related, but it shocked me. I sent out a email. I can't remember what book it was. Say this was Pumpkin Plans. This was way back, saying I love eMyth. And I talked nothing about any of,
Yeah.
and I put a link to eMyth so you could check it out and so forth. And what I was so shocked to notice was the next day, the Pumpkin Plan sold more books. I don't even know how people found it. I think I put the author of the Pumpkin Plan at the end. I don't think there was a link or anything. But I was just talking about eMyth, and more of my books sold. I'm sure more eMyth books sold, but more of my books sold. It's a weird phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just genuine contribution to the community, and the community gets it when you're being authentic and supporting the reader in some capacity. They want to explore more about you because you're supporting the community.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think it's helpful to ask yourself, am I serving the same person with this new project? And hopefully you're serving the same group of people. And so again, those links become more evident. And then I love it when people take the time to meet with readers. I think
Yeah.
we can feel disconnected from a project, from a book, because we're not actually having conversations with our readers. And that can really juice you up and get you excited about continuing to keep it alive.
So I'll give you my number one tip to defeating the blues is a couple steps. First, you have to know your love language. Mine is words of affirmation. Yours is quality time.
Quality time.
Yeah. Is Polly's physical touch?
Quality time,
Quality-
physical touch.
Okay. So once you know what your love language is, can you embed that somehow? And you have your sprint group and so forth. You are finding ways to be immersed with your community.
Yes.
For me, I want to hear words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do in every one of the books that we've done together is it says, please email me, the author, with your commitment.
You put your love language into the book so you would
100%.
always get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get dozens of emails every day, mostly profit first, but there's been a tidal shift. The money habit's starting to get more and more emails. And I just got one yesterday of someone committing to it. And I can feel my heart just feel like, yes. And that crushes the blues.
Yeah.
So building your love language in some way. I don't know how you
love
build
that. I don't know, but that's
physical
cool.
touch.
Well, let's not do it.
Well, physical touch doesn't, but you have to, let's not do it, but you have to do it. So physical touch
Okay.
in a business situation is someone just patting you on the shoulder, literally.
Yeah.
So maybe it means you got to get out to conferences where you can see.
Oh,
your
I
readers.
see. It just means being in the room,
Just being aware of it. Yeah.
but maybe not touching. No touching.
Well, but because you're not physical touch. I'm saying someone's physical touch.
I'm saying you don't want to go around touching readers.
No.
Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay. I don't think you can build that into the
But
book.
shaking hands or something that's appropriate.
Okay.
Okay, what else to defeat the blues?
And then it's always helpful to just do some thinking about why are you hesitant to promote the book.
Yeah.
If you dig a little deeper, it might be that it's not so much the new project, it's that you feel uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
continuing to talk about something you made.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to acknowledge that if you're feeling the blues, that's normal. Like I think of postpartum depression, like that happens for a lot of people.
Yes.
There's a creation of a new life And there is in that case, likely a hormonal shift and other things, but there's also a shift in lifestyle. My wife's sister-in-law just had a baby, and their life, this is their first child, is fundamentally changed.
Yeah.
That happens once you have a book out there, you're fundamentally a different person.
Yeah.
And I think you have to adjust to this new part of your life.
Yeah, I mean, also it's looking at it as less like I wrote a book and published it, and more like this is my life as an author.
Correct.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that happened for me with the Pumpkin Plan, was the realization I didn't write a book, The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. I'm an author.
Mm-hmm.
And once I accepted that, I lit up. So I was experiencing the blues for a long period of time because
You sure were.
I was in this
Because
identity crisis.
especially because you purchased so many copies of Toilet Paper Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It did not go well. You ended up having to move out of the fulfillment center and store thousands
At
of
my
books in
house.
your house.
20,000.
And it wasn't at all what you thought. I still remember the day that I sat in the meeting in your Boonton office, and you said you weren't sure if the 25,000 would be enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember saying, "Can you stop that order?" And you looked at me like I had two heads.
Yeah. I was like, but those will sell in 2 days. Like, I gotta sustain it. No, when it clicked in my head, it was absurd, is when the printing house called me. And I said, yeah. And they said, we're printing 20,000 books or 25,000 books. And I said, what's up? And they said, the president of the company has got one of these books for themselves, because if you're ordering this many, there must be one of the most remarkable books of all time.
What? I don't remember this
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they warned you and wanted to make sure that
they
the
warned me.
order was
No,
correct.
they were grateful for all these orders, but
But what did he say about the
he
book?
said he's reading the book because this must be one of the most remarkable books of all time. And I was like, is that embarrassing?
Oh my
And I'm like,
But did you were you like,
that was when it clicked. I was like, oh golly.
oh golly.
And we've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm so grateful I did that, because I burned
Sure.
the boats. I struggled to find copies. It's well sold out. It's gone. Like, the book is gone. The printed ones.
It's on print on demand now, right?
We moved to the POD, but I struggled to find original hard copy covers of that book.
I have one.
Oh, thank you.
You can't have it.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find them.
But listen, I'm glad you didn't end up letting that take you over. So you became a story that I tell about this dude who didn't listen to me and
Yeah.
ended up having to burn 25,000 books. Which is they do. Well,
Oh.
they turn them into pulp.
Yeah, so I think there's two options. I could have gone into the blues, or I got angry at myself.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to fix this. And I start pushing the book like relentlessly. I think that's partly who I am, but I had to.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that, because I wonder if I would have abandoned authorship. And what a shame that
For
would have been.
sure. I've had too many people do that. But for Kathy and people like Kathy, you are a person who you want the next thing.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing you temper yourself right now and try and pace yourself a bit. What are you doing now? Like, how are you balancing? You don't just have to support one book. You have to support a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Plus think about new projects. How are you doing that?
So purpose has been everything. So my life's purpose is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. And so I ask myself that constantly. And how can I, with the books that exist, make that a reality? The money habit, what's inspired is this constant stream of what else can we do? So it happened in this recording session. The first episode we did today is like, oh, that special edition book, there's an option there. Or we were talking about making a photo album. So I already have a message to Kelsey
Yeah.
for an ideation. So there's greater
Because you're
ideation.
driven by purpose.
Yeah. What's interesting, this has happened in the last 4 weeks. Profit First, which is the lead book, if you will, is selling its highest levels it has sold in probably about a year and a half now,
Yay.
because we're taking actions to push the backlist, including for the first time, Amazon ads that seem to be paying for themselves.
Oh, dang.
We're using Alex's company. I can't remember his last name. Strahi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. he's coming down as a guest speaker to Authors for Authors. You're going to be speaking there.
I would love to talk with him. Yeah.
And freaking Chris Gallibo is going to guest speak.
Oh, nice.
On events for neurodivergent consumers.
Oh, yeah. I had a whole chat with him at the last event where he told me all about that.
That's inspired this. So he's going to be speaking.
Oh, I love it.
We got such a lineup. Do you know what you're going to be speaking on?
No.
Good. I can't wait to be surprised by it. Because last one, it was one of the most inspirational conversations we've had there.
Thank you. I want to just, I really want to get back to Kathy just because, again, I don't think she's having the blues. I think she's having this torn. I just realized the best book for people who are trying to figure that out is her book.
Oh, okay.
Sustainable Ambition.
And isn't that ironic? Did she write a book she needs to learn from?
It's always it. That's always it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help you, Kathy, if you're listening, because you already know. But I actually think if there's an author wrestling with how do I balance supporting a previous book and working on a new project, actually, that book will help you figure it out.
I think Pressfield's work, too, is like The Resistance.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about him is he starts a new project the next day.
Yeah.
But he's still marketing.
For sure. And he embeds his books in his other books.
He has a new book coming out.
I wonder if you have a close enough contact with him, if you could just say, do you experience the blues? I would love to, maybe he has a quote or two that we could share on these episodes if he would be willing to respond to, reach out for
I will try and email him, and I know people who know him better than I certainly do.
Yeah.
I do not know him as a friend, but I know people who do.
Because I wonder, for someone with that degree of success, does he even experience the blues?
It's in his books. I mean, he's pretty vocal about all of his trials.
To me, most of his stuff is when in the writing process and the resistance that presents itself. I didn't interpret it, but maybe he says it, is once the book is out there, the resistance that presents itself.
Okay, that's a great question. I will email.
Yeah.
He has a new book out, by the way, Arcadia.
Oh.
And that is, I think it's going to be out. This is May that we're recording this. I think it's out end of May. So by the time you hear this, it's out. Definitely get it.
Any other thoughts on this subject?
No, I feel like we've talked about it, and I hope I'll after this comes out, I'll ask Kathy if I answered her question. But I think I also hope that everyone here realizes that it's normal to feel this push-pull, and if you are experiencing something different, which is the blues, that don't let it be permanent. Don't let it kill something.
For one of our upcoming episodes, I think next week we're going to talk about it. John Briggs, he's an author with Simplified, the Page 2 publisher. He's writing a new book that is a rewrite / modification of an existing book. He wrote the 3.3 rule, and he's writing a new book called Take Breaks, Work Better. He asked a great question. Should I delist my book, his prior book? And you and I had some dialogue about it. I had some thoughts, you had some thoughts, and we're going to explore that.
Yeah, what do you do what do you do? I actually have another example of this too, is when at my publishing house, we did a special edition of a book that was a very big book for us. And we ran into all these issues because we were going to have to take down the other one, but the other one was so well reviewed and loved, and it was a huge issue.
Yeah.
So this will be a good conversation.
It will be a good conversation. The cost of comments or reviews. Like I had one book, Clockwork, the first edition, had over 1,000 reviews, and they didn't delist it. Which you can shift over to a new version of the book and transfer the reviews. We decided to keep the original book, but then the new book didn't get those reviews. So the new book has 200 plus reviews, and the original has over 1,000, but they're not combined. So there's lots of those considerations. Anything else yet?
No. So we'll talk about that next instead of the thing I put down there at the bottom.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. The last thing I want to ask is just about your community, because the blues, if you experience them alone, can be pretty tragic.
They can.
If you navigate it with a community that loves and supports you,
yes,
it can be actually empowering. It's just a transition point. So how do people get in your community?
ajharper.com. Start with the sprints. It's probably the nuttiest amount of hours of sprints that you can find. 10 hours a week, man. Twice a day, Monday through Friday. Writing with others, a brief conversation and some Q&A. And through that, there's a lot of building of community. And Monday through Thursday, Laura Stone, my dean of students, runs it. And she's just a master at bringing people together and keeping motivation up. So she's quite good at that. And on Fridays, I'm there. So if people want to ask me questions and get my input on things, I'm there on Fridays, man. It's pretty easy.
And it's interesting. There's a mix of different genres, authors in different stages at the start of the book, at the end of the book, everywhere in between.
Yeah, every level.
Someone's been writing for 5 years and someone's been writing for 5 minutes. It's like literally everything.
Yeah, everybody's welcome.
Okay, go to ajharper.com.
Thank you.
All right, my friends. And for you, go to DWTBpodcast.com. That's where you can download our free resources, tons of material that we have for you. Plus, whatever pod system you listen on, would you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button? That helps us get the word out there because the algorithm promotes it to like listeners like you. And also give us a rating review, an honest one. We'd appreciate that. Don't forget this. Don't write that book. Write the greatest book you can.